customization. At the forefront of Need for Speed to a lot of us, the main reason the game is so unique and personable, customization lets us express ourselves in our own ways. There's no doubt about it, customization, when it comes to just that, there is no doubt about it. Whatever racing game you want to buy, the best game for it, customization wise, is Need for Speed. The one where you can make the car your own. Now, we're at a pretty good point, I would say, with the customization on Need for Speed. But where do we go from here? Payback improved on an already pretty solid formula. There are a few more parts with less restrictions, with mixing and matching body panels. New cars are great and all, but more parts for cars that are new and old is even better, in my opinion. Now, there's a few things I would like to see Need for Speed add in terms of customization that I think other games have done, and also Need for Speed should be doing in general. At the forefront of customization, first things first, better vinyls. Now, what I mean by that, they've already got a pretty decent vinyl editor. It's decent to use. It needs a little bit of tweaking in terms of how it works and how you move the camera and whatnot, but what I want to see is the ability to take it even further. Now, one thing that Need for Speed did very well is that you can put stickers on the windows of your car, which is great. I want to see them take that a step further, and you place stickers on tires, and you place stickers on lights, so you can then change the color of the lights and all these little details to what you want to customize it perfectly. Putting stickers on wheels, now that would be something else. There's obviously more body kits that I would like to see. I would like to see more Need for Speed design parts. When you go through some of the wings, you'll see that a lot of them are Need for Speed wings. And I'd like to see more of those parts, because the Need for Speed stuff is pretty darn good most of the time. Better menu organization, obviously. If you've gone through the wheels on any Need for Speed for the past while, you very clearly would be like, well, please, just at least put the name of them. But no, sort them by the amount of spokes, sort them by the sizes. I don't know, just sort them by manufacturer, if you will. Just change, just organize it a bit. Back to the livery editor, I'd like to see saving of custom shapes. For example, if someone creates their logo in the game and they want to use it on another car, let them capture those layers, save them, share them, and say, for example, people start making NOS logos, people start making HKS logos, and cars will just overall look so much better. And finally on this list, I would like to see some more options in terms of the handling tuning. Now, in 2015, there was a nice, huge selection of handling styles. Ultimately, they didn't do a massive amount. I feel like overall, because they tried to do that simplified slider at the top where it was easy or hard, pretty much messed it up. Payback then resulted to going to having 3 sliders for most cars, and they didn't really do very much either. I get that they're trying to make it easy and accessible, and people that don't understand cars can also jump in the game and try it, but I think they need to take that little step further in the direction that people aren't dumb. They know how to do a slider. For example, if we go into speed tuning, for example, we can have higher top speed or more acceleration. Simple slider. With NOS, for example, we have longer or shorter, but more powerful. These simple things will allow us to build better and more fun cars and more specific cars for certain situations. And we can make drag cars how we want. If we want a top speed drag car, and also we want, for example, a not top speed, an acceleration drag car to get the best quarter mile times, we can have both of those. And we don't have to just do it based on what Need for Speed wants us to do. Performance upgrades is where we hit a little bit of a crossroads though. So I asked you guys on Twitter to give me some feedback, and obviously there's a lot of opinions when it comes to this stuff, because realistically this was one of the main things that scared people away from Payback. And the problem was the theme of this game was Vegas, okay? It was gambling, it was Vegas. But then microtransactions came into it, and it just made it feel a little bit more stingy. 2015 was straightforward and easy. You go through and you select and you pick parts, and Bob's your uncle. Within 10-15 minutes, you've pretty much maxed out the car. Now, that is great and all, because it's simple and easy, but it got to a point where it felt a little bit like Forza, in where when a new car releases, I upgrade it, customize it, and then I never touch it again. It became a little bit boring because of that. There was no way to keep furthering it. So with Payback, what they decided to do is add speed cards. Now, speed cards, although a great concept, until they added in the fact that you could get them through the spinny thing. I don't mind speed cards, but what I would prefer is, again, like a lot of the community are saying, remove the cards section, have better parts. Let us go to, for example, unlock multiple manufacturers of parts throughout the city, even if these are the same brands as the cards, for example. And when we get a full row of them, we get the bonuses, just like we did in the last game. There needs to be a way to make it simple for people that don't really care about that slight little advantage, and the people that do want to grind for those types of things. And I think the best way to come up with an idea in my head is to allow people to unlock the upgrades as they level up and buy them as you would as per normal. Every now and again, maybe throw a free part if they do a special event or something. But then for the people like me that like to grind and unlock and progress inch by inch towards the end game, as we've spoken about in a previous video, Junkman parts. Do you remember those? Some of those you unlocked through doing cheats, some of them you unlocked from completing all these bunch of challenges, and just go back to that. Special parts. Whether they give you an acceleration increase, a NOS increase, like more NOS, multiplied power of nitrous, but it regenerates slower, something like that, just a slight advantage that you can keep building upon. How about you add in some challenges, for example? When people collect all the collectibles, when people, for example, win all the street races, all the drag races, all the off-road races, when people complete all online challenges, if there's any burnout style challenges like we've been asking for since 2015, that would be a good way to give out a special part. Now, I don't, to clarify, I don't want to make it so that you have to play online to unlock the special part. That's just one of the ways to get it, or there's other ways to get those parts. Maybe they part shuffle on how you get them, for example, each week. I think that's probably the best way to go forward, and that's something I hope to see. I don't want them to go back to the 2015 style completely, except I do for those that are just upgrading and playing through the game and then leaving it and never touching it again. That's great. It makes it simple, straightforward, and makes sense. But for the people like you and me, for example, that play the game for 2 years or so, or maybe a year, whatever, we need something to keep us going and keep mastering our build. And I think that just makes the most sense, having something that doesn't massively improve your performance, but at the same rate, it gives you a reward for putting the time in. Now, on top of all those things, there's one area that I kind of want to touch upon about the customization in general on Need for Speed. So we've obviously got visual modifications sorted, performance modifications sorted. There's one other side that we haven't really touched upon too much, and that is the fine-tuning of the cars. And to get something a bit rolling a bit better with that, the problem, as I said, they try to simplify things so much that it kind of strips away the meaning. For example, I would like to see improvements based on aspiration. For example, when you go into the turbos on Need for Speed 2015, you'll see a combination of different turbos. Some cars, I think you'll see superchargers, that kind of thing. I want you to define a difference and let people know there is a difference. Show them that there is a difference. Don't just assume they're too stupid to understand. Show them with sliders. For example, I am going to install a twin turbo kit to my car. And this twin turbo kit, if you know about how turbos work, twin turbos have an advantage over single turbos in the earliness of acceleration. In terms of like age, we're talking about 2 new turbos or 3 new turbos. Twin turbos will get on the boost quicker. It won't be as aggressive though. Bigger turbos will take longer to get on boost, and it's boom on. Display that with options. Tell us the difference between single turbos, small, single turbos, big, twin turbo setups, bi-turbo setups, and superchargers. Teach people. I learned a lot about cars from watching other people build them on YouTube, and I learned a lot in the past while because I've since had my car single turboed, and I wanted to learn a little bit more about how it all comes together. I don't think games should be afraid from shoving all this information in the face as long as they tell people how it works. A very simple description. A small turbo is smaller, and that requires less exhaust gases to go through to get it to spool at its maximum point to then get the power back into the engine. It's such a simple idea. I never understood how simple it was, but if someone had told me so long ago how simple the concept is, I would have known, and Need for Speed has a chance to do that kind of thing. Drivetrains is a bit of an interesting one because I don't want it to get to a point where in Forza, for example, everyone just puts in all-wheel drive because it's the best drivetrain. I don't want that to be the case because that would kind of mess it up, but I want them to investigate in these little details and figure out what they could possibly teach people, the difference between A and B. Drag tires versus race tires versus street tires. Show us a handling difference between them. They've already done that in the past. When you upgrade your tires, you notice that all of a sudden my handling improves overall tenfold. adding structural rigidity with a roll cage, or little things like this. But one thing to be clear, visuals of cars on Need for Speed should never really affect the performance. For example, if I choose to not put a wing on because I want it to look good, I don't think I should be at a disadvantage. I think that Need for Speed should kind of blur that line, and I'm not sure if you agree or not, but be sure to let me know. I think we're pretty much done here in terms of customization and Need for Speed. Let me know what you think. How do you want it to be? What do you want to see more of in terms of visual, performance, handling, customization? Do you want to see a new customization altogether? For example, do you want to customize a house? I want to customize a house. Every racing game should have a house that you can place pictures of your Willy on the wall. Alright, be sure to smash like, subscribe if you are new. You're in the right place for Need for Speed 2019 stuff. You already know this, I don't need to tell you. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.